Wide Web. I'm GW Pomichter, and we are hanging with artists, game designers, writers, filmmakers, creators of all kinds at the 34th Annual Necronomicon in Tampa, Florida. Before we jump right in, once again, we want to go ahead and send a big shout out to our friends over at Something Unique Magazine for helping us share these videos and share these artists and creators with you all weekend long. We're again at Necronomicon 2015 at the Grand Hyatt Regency in Tampa Bay, and we are hanging with William Hatfield, the author of the Fists of Earth series. We have with us here, we have Tough Crowd, which is book 3 of the Fists of Earth series. And William, thanks for hanging with us, man.
Thank you.
And how are you liking the con? How's the con going for you?
Necronomicon's like coming home.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've been coming here every year since 2004.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And,
what's the best part about coming to the cons?
Well, first of all, this particular show, I get more hugs the first 2 hours I'm here than I get in the month of July.
That's fantastic. It's old home day.
It's old home. It's all familiar faces.
That is great. That is great. Well, tell us a little bit about the series, and most of all, this is the most recent with the series. So tell us about it.
Well, that's what I call my third episode in my 9-part trilogy.
Okay.
Fists of Earth. Yeah. I do that for the sake of my anal retentive friends.
You just keep with it. It just bothers them. They just can't get. Right now they're at home. They're going, oh man, he did it again.
Yeah. I hope so. But basically, the first book is a cruise ship with 3,500 people. It gets hijacked by an alien ship with everybody on board. The whole thing that they got to take something back to port, or they're going to lose their ship to docking fees and all that because they've had a really unsuccessful voyage.
Okay.
And on board is a martial arts movie star, Jim Morris, and a Wall Street corporate lawyer, Kimberly Martin. She's actually representing the company that owns it, and she's going to sell it they're going to sell it at the end of the voyage to a Japanese company. Okay. So the crew's half and half, half American, half Japanese. It's an expanding culture clash. So you've got martial arts, Hollywood, and corporate America, Wall Street, they get romantically involved, obviously, culture clash. You got Japanese Americans, expanding culture clash. And then you got the critters from outer space and humans, big time culture clash.
Yeah.
And then the sequel, Dual Role, that's captive audience, by the way, the first book.
Okay.
And then the sequel, Dual Roles, gets some of them back to Earth. Jim Morris, the martial arts actor, is on board with his cast and crew, filming the last scenes to his next blockbuster.
Okay.
So he leads a rebellion with the cast and crew. They're all martial artists. And they get in control, but they're way out in space, like the first book. The sequel, some of them stay out there, some of them come back. And we got to deal with, what do? I've been gone for 4 months. There's a cruise ship missing, about 2,500 people missing. I'm just going to go to work on Monday and pretend it didn't happen. I was sick. That doesn't really work. So there's a whole bunch of things happening, both on a personal and a FBI, and everybody else. The Japanese want to know. Corporations want to know. Israelis want to know. Everybody wants to know. And how do you explain the spaceship in the backyard?
Yeah, that's we don't talk about that.
And then the third book, the aliens follow him back to Earth, and I like to say a bad time is had by all, except the readers.
The readers have a good time. That's great.
So, yeah.
This is a lot of story.
Yeah.
And you've mashed up a lot of things from action and sci-fi, obviously, and like you said, just the idea of clashing cultures and how that works on so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
What inspires a 9-part trilogy like this?
It started off as I had a writers group approach me because they knew I'd written some short stories in the 70s, all bad, I might add. But they needed a male in their writers group for a male perspective. Am I writing this as a woman writing a guy character? Is it working? We need a guy. And I owned the local sci-fi comic shop at that point.
Okay.
And I was an obvious choice, so I joined them. And I brought one of my short stories the first week. We all laughed at how bad it was. Good style, good ideas, bad overall. But I said, I'll bring something new next week. Because every Monday they met, which is pretty impressive that they actually, for years, we met every Monday.
Wow.
The next week I brought what became part of the first chapter to the captive audience. And I thought I was writing time travel for about 2 or 3 chapters. And at some point, I have to paraphrase what I said out loud in my kitchenette while I was writing. Holy stuff. This isn't time travel. This is alien abduction.
This is YouTube, man. You can say holy shit.
Holy shit. This isn't time travel. This is alien abduction. And I literally had an epiphany.
That's
and where I
awesome.
was going to go to. Because I was writing off, I had these ideas for, I love the culture clash aspect of it.
I did.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what science fiction, fantasy, really, all of this kind of speculative fiction environment that we're in. I think that's one of the things it does best. Is it takes issues like clashing cultures, racial issues, gender issues, and it throws them into a place where they're so mashed up, they're almost unrecognizable until they unfold in front of you, and you have to question your own perceptions of those issues. Because it was okay. We really hated that bleeping alien.
Yeah.
I can't even do that one on YouTube, I don't think. Anyway, but you know, we really hated that guy.
Yeah.
Then he turned out to be a nice guy, and now it made me question everybody else that I think I hate back home. It does it so well, and when it's well written, it is, you know, it happens imperceptibly in front of us, and so you took it on like multiple levels and said, hey, we've got differing ethnic cultures, we've got differing almost industrial cultures, because you've got your filmmakers and your action people here, and then you've got, of course, alien versus human, which is about as diverse as you can grab.
And it's not just one alien race. The actual ship had 5 races on it.
Wow,
You've got
fantastic.
the Overlord race, and then you've got the Subservient, you've got the computer geek. They'd probably be at the show if they could.
Yeah.
But think about writing a short story where the one race shows up at a
con.
MegaCon or
That'd be
Necronomicon,
awesome.
which
That'd
would be
be
a perfect
great.
thing.
Yeah.
I've been warned that's too fanish, so I shouldn't do it, but I'm probably going to do it anyway.
I think
and
it's
then
fun.
you've got a couple of warrior races.
I talked with a couple other authors earlier, and I think one of the fantastic things about the con circuit is that this is the one place where you can find the artists are the fans. There are as many of us, upstairs playing games right now, or in there shopping, as there are at their tables.
Well, I've been on 4 panels this weekend already. 2 of them were writers' panels. 2 of them, one was Firefly and Serenity.
That was last night.
That was a good panel.
Was it?
We
didn't get here until later after that. I was actually looking forward to that.
An hour or so ago, I was on a Babylon 5 panel. And I was on those panels because I'm fans of both.
I am. I'm a huge B5 fan.
Yeah.
And there's rumors of a reboot.
I think they're rumors.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid because
I'd love to have it.
I would. It'd be fantastic. I always get nervous. Reboots have been a mixed bag, and a B5 reboot. The problem is that I have followed and loved so many, not just of the characters that Joseph Straczynski created, but the actors and actresses that played those characters.
And all the social things, and all the different races, and all the political developments. I mean, it would have to be Joe. Yeah, and he would have to really take into consideration all those tentacles of storyline and all that background and make it work. And I don't know that it could be done in a good manner.
Yeah.
I would be afraid to try.
They were groundbreaking for their day.
We were talking last night about, how could you carry on Serenity and Firefly? And I was like, we'd really have to there's one way to do it. You'd have to have really good writers. Yes, and the ones that pay attention, who understand the series, who don't have their own idea to do a take on it.
Yes.
You don't have to have the Penguin who loves raw fish, like from the early Batman movies. Well, because I want to put my stamp on it. No, you gotta do it.
Well, this is a community, and I think I watched a lot of interviews and things, especially now that Star Wars is moving forward again. And there's a sense of communal ownership in this community. And I mean, you 3 books. The more people read it in this particular community, the less they're your books anymore, because there's a community sense of ownership now, and they come to you and they say, when are you going to do this with this character?
I've had people thanking me in this one because I have a character I introduced him briefly in the first book, but I knew where I was going with him. In the second book, he was fairly regular. This book, he's actually one of the major characters, but he's basically a contract psychopath killer. And he does contract work and whatever it happens to be. I wrote a couple scenes in, and you wouldn't believe the response I got. They love it.
They did, because they have ownership of this character, and they've been wondering for a long time now. So, we're the hands. We get to do the creating, but really they're the ones that they're going to come in. They're going to let us know. Why did you do that? And it's a mixed bag, and we've had a blast here. We've had a blast talking to so many great artists. at this event.
Well, this is a nice show with a good mix. I was on a panel last night with Joe Haldeman, Ben Bova. These are two giants.
Yeah, no doubt. How do you do that? How do you go from? I mean, you obviously you love the genre, you love the fans and everything else. How have you transitioned since you started doing your writing to being from the seats out there to the seats up there? And sitting next to, like you said, these are giants. You sit there. I was telling somebody earlier, the very first time I got to speak on a panel of any kind, I sat there and I literally out loud, I couldn't help myself but out loud say, I have no idea why I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
Because my claim to fame is that I stand next to guys like that, and I go, and that's that, so how do you transition into that? How's that been for you?
Well, one is, fortunately, like Joe Haldeman, he's like family. His niece, I gave her first job, and so it's easy when you got to transition away through friendships and stuff. But it's daunting too, because I had one case where I used to go to a lot of shows and meet a lot of celebrities when I've owned or managed bookstores since I was in college.
Okay.
And through that, I met a lot of celebrities, and I decided I was never going to be the awestruck, annoying fan. Even though I am. I am that, but I was going to disguise it.
Just kind of mute it.
Just going to mute it as
We're
much
cool.
as I could. But I met one author, and I will not name him because it's probably not appropriate, but I went up to tell him how his books changed my life because they made me think outside the box. And I was already assistant director of a foreign student dorm in college for quite a few years, so I had the background, and he gave me a new insight on certain cultures, and he blew me off. And I was just like, I'm praising this guy, and he really is ready to go somewhere else.
Wow.
And I'm not being a fan praising him. I'm telling him, real reasons why it mattered. And I decided I'm never going to be that guy. Ever.
Well, that is, and like I said, one of the things what I'm awestruck about, it isn't on this side of the tables. It really isn't. I love talking to other creators and writers. I talked to an independent filmmaker earlier who's doing sci-fi films. I love talking to folks on this side of the table, but what I'm awestruck by really is the other side of the table. The fans, the readers, the viewers, they are, and this is theirs. Yeah. This is home for them as much as it is for any artist, and that's what I'm awestruck about when I walk around.
Well, I'm a little fish in the pond. I look forward to that day when people are talking about my books like they talk about Babylon 5 this morning. The episodes, I mean, when somebody starts talking about one of my characters that I didn't initiate the conversation, then I'll know I'm home.
That's
really
cool.
Home.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
No.
I think I'm doing some of the gardening work out in the front yard.
Yeah,
I'm not inside the house yet.
I've been told to get off the lawn. We're kind of new. I'm like, get off the lawn. Okay, whatever. That's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
The goal is to inspire people.
To matter.
Yeah, to matter in some way, to leave a mark.
Yeah.
I said a long time ago, I started writing when I was a kid. I started publishing only a year and a half ago. And I haven't published anything. I mean, I published a lot that I'm proud of. It's good work, but it's not my opus per se. And but that's the goal, is to get there where I write something where I kind of lay back and go, if that's all my great grandchildren knew about me, that'd work.
Yeah,
that would work. That'd be okay.
Well, I think it'd be cool, and of course I won't see it, and I'll just have to hope it happens. But when I go on trips, I'll find a bookstore, a used bookstore, and I'll go, oh wow, a Mac Reynolds book I've never heard of or read. This is so cool because I love the way Mac Reynolds wrote. Philip E. High, oh my God, these are writers from the 50s. They wrote good stuff. They're very time specific. Some of them are still very valid now, but some of them are a little dated. And you got the big thing of computer cards, in the story or something like that. But anyway, I just love the fact that I find these treasures, and someday maybe somebody will find one of my books in a bookstore. Oh my God, it's dual roles.
William Hatfield, Fists of Earth.
Yes.
And they'll say, oh wait, those are the first books.
Yeah.
Those are the ones.
Yeah.
And so that'll be great, won't it?
Oh, and look, here's this Key West weird quirky novel that isn't sci-fi at all, but that was good too. Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll wheel us in so we can see those moments.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll come before they have to.
Yeah, you never know.
So William, thank you so much for hanging
pleasure.
with us.
Yeah.
It's great. Look for William Hatfield's Fists of Earth series. Everywhere you can find online bookstores everywhere, I'm assuming.
They're online, Amazon, either as Kindle or as physical books. Out of the back of my car, at any show I'm at.
All right.
On Facebook all the time.
All right, you're on Facebook. You're on
And it's Bill Hatfield. I'm on Facebook.
Bill Hatfield on Facebook. Look him up. He's an author. Tough Crowd Book 3. That's the newest one. If you haven't started the Fists of Earth series, go get started, guys. All right, we are hanging with every kind of entertainer, artist, and creator we can at the Necronomicon 2015 is the 34th annual Necronomicon, Tampa, Florida. I'm GW Pomichter, and we're going to be back in just a bit. So log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next at Necronomicon 2015.